Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, where you receive real and authentic updates about the Iraqi dinar. If you want to stay informed with moment-by-moment developments, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Today we are taking a closer look at an important topic that continues to attract attention among followers of Iraq's economy and the Iraqi dinar. Recent discussions have focused on Iraq's path toward membership in the World Trade Organization, commonly known as the WTO, and how certain economic reforms, including potential exchange rate developments, may fit into that broader process. As always, it is important to separate confirmed facts from speculation and to focus on the economic realities that can influence Iraq's financial future. The information being discussed suggests that Iraq may still need to complete several requirements before fully joining the WTO, and that certain monetary and economic measures could be part of the overall reform process. While there is ongoing debate regarding the exact sequence of events, what remains clear is that Iraq continues to pursue economic modernization, international integration, and structural reforms designed to strengthen its long-term position in the global economy. To understand why this topic matters to Iraqi dinar followers, we first need to understand what WTO membership represents. The World Trade Organization is one of the most important international institutions governing global trade. Countries that join the WTO commit to a framework of rules designed to promote transparent trade practices, improve market access, reduce unnecessary barriers to commerce, and create a more predictable environment for international business. For Iraq, WTO membership is not simply a symbolic achievement. It represents a broader effort to become more integrated into the international economic system. After decades of conflict, sanctions, political transitions, and economic challenges, Iraq has been working to diversify its economy and attract greater foreign investment. WTO membership is often viewed as one element of that larger strategy. Many observers believe that joining the WTO could improve investor confidence because it demonstrates a commitment to internationally recognized economic standards. Businesses and investors generally prefer operating in environments where rules are transparent and predictable. As a result, progress toward WTO accession is often seen as a positive signal regarding a country's economic development. However, WTO membership is not something that happens overnight. Countries seeking accession typically undergo a lengthy process involving negotiations, legal reforms, regulatory adjustments, and economic policy changes. Governments must demonstrate that their trade policies align with WTO principles. This can require significant work across multiple sectors of the economy. In Iraq's case, the process has been ongoing for years. The country has made progress in several areas, but there are still reforms and requirements that need to be completed. This is why discussions about additional steps before final WTO membership continue to appear in economic commentary. One of the most frequently discussed topics among dinar followers is the relationship between exchange rate policy and Iraq's broader economic objectives. Some analysts argue that a stable and credible monetary framework is an important component of economic modernization. Others point out that exchange rate policy is only one piece of a much larger puzzle that includes banking reforms, trade regulations, investment laws, financial transparency, and institutional development. When people hear discussions about potential rate changes, it is important to remember that exchange rates are influenced by many factors. These include economic growth, inflation, foreign reserves, government finances, trade balances, monetary policy, and investor confidence. No single factor determines the value of a currency, and significant monetary decisions are typically made with careful consideration of their impact on the broader economy. The Central Bank of Iraq plays a critical role in maintaining monetary stability. One of its primary objectives is preserving confidence in the financial system while supporting economic stability. Any adjustments related to monetary policy would normally be evaluated in terms of inflation control, financial sector health, foreign reserve management, and the overall economic environment. This brings us back to the discussion regarding WTO accession and potential exchange rate developments. Some commentators believe that economic reforms associated with international integration could eventually support a stronger and more efficient financial system. Others emphasize that WTO membership itself does not automatically require a specific exchange rate or guarantee currency appreciation. That distinction is extremely important. Joining the WTO is fundamentally about trade rules, market access, and economic governance. While monetary reforms can occur alongside WTO-related reforms, WTO membership alone does not automatically determine the value of a nation's currency. For Iraqi Dinar followers, the key takeaway is that economic progress should be viewed through a broad lens rather than through a single event. Sustainable currency strength, when it occurs, is usually associated with long-term improvements in economic fundamentals. These fundamentals include productivity growth, investment inflows, fiscal discipline, private sector development, banking modernization, and confidence in national institutions. Looking at the short-term implications, ongoing discussions about WTO accession may contribute to positive sentiment regarding Iraq's reform agenda. Investors and market observers often pay attention to signs that a country is moving toward greater economic integration. Progress on reforms can create optimism about future opportunities and may encourage increased interest from international businesses. At the same time, short-term expectations should remain realistic. Economic transformations typically take time. Even after reforms are announced, implementation often occurs gradually. Governments must establish regulations, institutions must adapt, and businesses must respond to changing conditions. These processes rarely happen immediately. Another factor worth considering is Iraq's continued effort to diversify its economy. Historically, the country has relied heavily on oil revenues. While oil remains a critical source of national income, policymakers have repeatedly expressed interest in expanding non-oil sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, logistics, technology, and services. WTO membership could potentially support these diversification efforts by improving access to international markets and encouraging greater participation in global trade networks. If domestic industries become more competitive and gain access to new export opportunities, the broader economy could benefit over time. From a banking perspective, international integration often encourages improvements in financial infrastructure. Modern payment systems, enhanced compliance standards, stronger banking regulations, and increased transparency can all contribute to a more efficient financial sector. These developments are important because a healthy banking system serves as a foundation for economic growth. For Iraqi citizens, businesses, and investors, the long-term value of reforms lies in their ability to create a more stable and predictable economic environment. Stability can support investment, entrepreneurship, job creation, and consumer confidence. These outcomes are often more significant than short-term market reactions. Another important consideration is foreign direct investment. International companies typically evaluate a wide range of factors before investing in a country. These include legal protections, regulatory consistency, political stability, infrastructure quality, labor market conditions, and access to markets. Progress toward internationally recognized standards can enhance a country's attractiveness to potential investors. If Iraq continues advancing reforms and strengthening its economic institutions, it may improve its ability to attract long-term capital. Such investment can contribute to economic growth by funding infrastructure projects, expanding industries, and creating employment opportunities. For followers of the Iraqi dinar, discussions surrounding WTO membership should therefore be viewed as part of a larger economic story. The broader question is not simply whether a particular reform occurs, but whether Iraq continues building the foundations necessary for sustainable growth and international competitiveness. Many economists argue that durable economic progress results from consistency rather than isolated events. Improvements in governance, financial transparency, trade policy, infrastructure, and private sector development can collectively strengthen an economy over time. These factors often matter more than any single announcement. It is also worth remembering that global economic conditions play a role. Iraq operates within an interconnected international environment. Commodity prices, regional developments, global trade trends, and financial market conditions can all influence economic outcomes. As a result, domestic reforms must be evaluated alongside external factors. When analyzing reports related to exchange rate changes, viewers should remain cautious about sensational claims. Financial markets are complex, and major monetary developments typically involve extensive planning and policy coordination. Responsible analysis requires focusing on verifiable information rather than speculation. This is particularly important in online discussions where rumors can spread quickly. While enthusiasm about Iraq's economic future is understandable, it is always best to rely on credible sources, official statements, and documented policy developments. Sound analysis depends on evidence rather than assumptions. Looking ahead, the key issue to watch is the continued progress of Iraq's reform agenda. Whether the focus is WTO accession, banking modernization, investment policy, fiscal management, or economic diversification, each step contributes to the country's long-term trajectory. The cumulative effect of these reforms may ultimately be more important than any individual milestone. If Iraq successfully completes remaining requirements associated with international economic integration, it could strengthen its position within the global marketplace. Such progress may improve opportunities for trade, investment, and economic cooperation. Over the long run, these developments have the potential to support broader economic growth and financial stability. For Iraqi Dinar followers, this means keeping attention on the bigger picture. Sustainable economic advancement is generally built on institutional strength, policy consistency, and gradual reform. While headlines often focus on specific events, long-term outcomes are usually shaped by a combination of factors working together over many years. As of now, discussions continue regarding the remaining steps Iraq may need to complete before achieving full WTO membership. Observers will likely continue monitoring economic reforms, trade policies, banking developments, and monetary decisions for signs of progress. Each of these areas provides valuable insight into the direction of Iraq's economy. Ultimately, the significance of these developments lies not only in what they may mean for the Iraqi dinar, but also in what they may indicate about Iraq's broader economic future. A stronger, more diversified, and internationally connected economy could create opportunities that extend far beyond currency discussions alone. Thank you for watching today's Iraqi Dinar update. If you appreciate responsible, factual, and balanced coverage of Iraqi Dinar developments and Iraq's economy, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. As always, this content is provided for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered financial, investment, or trading advice. Always conduct your own research and consult qualified financial professionals before making any financial decisions.